Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Mom's View. I am Kaylee. This is Carly and Colette, and we are happy to be back today.
Christmas is coming.
Yeah, I love it. I love listening to Christmas music. I was thinking the other day, though, I want to do something different on Christmas Day because I love Christmas time. I love, like, the days leading up. And then Christmas Day, I feel like we're just, like, laying around, which is nice too to spend time with family, but I was like, I want to throw a dinner or something where you get dressed up and it's like you go to a holiday dinner and the kids are running around in their dresses.
It's almost like the marathon, and then that's like Christmas Day, you cross the finish line and you're just like, oh, I'm so tired. That's a good way to look at it. And then you're like, oh, what do we do all day? Just lay around, cool.
Yeah.
I'm cool.
And it is
I
good.
like that idea. That's a good point.
Yeah, I was trying to think like, what would I really want to do? And I just think like family. I just want like everyone be together.
Hug everyone.
Everyone, come here.
And I think last year I was so sad we were snowed in, and so I didn't get to see my family, and it was I cried all day. I was so sad.
Oh, I remember
sad.
because I was texting Casey. We were driving back from Utah, and you guys were trying to leave, and the roads were really, really bad.
I know,
and I was like trying to give you guys updates.
I know. I wanted to text you and be like, lie.
Tell Casey it's just
lie. No, it was good, and we wanted to be safe, and of course, like I understood, but
That's
it
hard.
made me really sad.
Yeah, that's hard.
Anyways, life has been crazy. The holidays are busy, and I am going to be completely honest. I was feeling so uninspired to film today. I just was like, no. Not even, I just felt like overwhelmed with everything else that was going on. I couldn't think of a topic. I was like, what am I going to film? I have so much going on. Like, what am I going to do? So I texted my sisters and my mom, and I was like, do you guys have anything that you are interested in hearing about that you think we should talk about? And my little sister Markel texted back, and her girlfriend actually watched like all of the Mom's View episodes. They love them. Yeah, they're the best. And she texted back like she thinks it would be fun to hear like funny stories from high school, different things like that. But then she put something, and she put, I think everyone just wants to hear you guys talk about topics that bring out passion. What would you fight for? What makes you guys laugh? What can you talk about to make an audience feel like they know you better?
That's good.
And she texted a few more things, and I cried, and I was emotional all night. And because I just feel like, do I know the answer to that question right now? Like, I feel like I've been living like I'm just going through the motions lately because life has been busy. So I'm like, what would I fight for right now? I'm so tired. Like, what are the answers to these questions?
A really good
I'm just fighting for a nap.
Sometimes that's all you need to fight for.
Yeah. And then I was thinking about, what do I want to see on the Mom's View? Like, I'm asking them, what do I want to see? And I do want to see those things in us. We always talk about how we're different about things, how we have different insights of things. We grew up very similar. I know you guys know. We hear it all the time in the comments that it should be like the Mormon's view or the Butler mom's view.
Mormon's view.
You know, and I get it because I feel like maybe sometimes we don't show as much, things that we feel differently about. And I think it's mostly because we know each other so well. So when Colette's talking about something, if I maybe disagree, I still know her so well that I'm like, yeah, I know that that's how you feel about that. And I understand that. And that is why I feel like we agree so much.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking about like the realness in YouTube, because it is so hard to be completely yourself, even when you feel like you're being real. It's just this weird balance because you want to be real, you want to give. I feel like I have opened up so much more than I have, even to like my best friends, even to my family members. I've shared things on the Mom's View that I would have never talked about ever with anyone else, other than like maybe, us in a room, and I would hope no one else would ever hear. But then I'm like, am I being real? And where do I draw that line between keeping something for myself and giving everything that I can? And so that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today, is like the realness in reality, the realness in vlogging, and the realness in YouTube and what we're creating.
Yeah.
Am I making sense?
Yes.
I feel like
Very
It's
much.
so good. I'm just like taking it all in. I'm like, yes.
Yeah. And I think that it's scary too. I think a lot of people like during the election wanted to hear our political views.
Right.
And a lot of people want to hear us talk about religion. And when I was going to beauty school, those were the two things that they said, don't talk to clients about. You're always going to fight with someone.
It's like that bar rule. Like, you walk into the bar, you don't talk about three things like politics, religion, and football.
I didn't know that.
And football.
Last time you were on a
I talk about
bar.
football all the time.
Not like I've been at a bar lately.
I should know that.
You're blowing it.
Well, last night when I was at the bar, I'm just saying. Isn't that like a rule though, right? Like that's the thing they.
Yeah, you don't talk about politics and religion like that. Is just and football. I really try hard not to. Sometimes I talk about football.
It's really hard not to.
And so I feel like that is something that gets brought up a lot. People want us to talk more about that, and then they make up things. I don't know. I want to hear what you guys have to say because I feel like you should heavily go first.
on me. I don't know. I love everything that you were just saying now because I feel like I've been going through that, especially where, stuff happened in our family. We were gone from the internet, and I all of a sudden felt like I didn't care about anybody anymore. I was like, you don't deserve to hear what I have to say. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to tell you because I'm sick of the SHIT. Honestly, so I went through a phase where it was like I was so excited and we were sharing our lives and I felt like everything that we had to share was from the heart and it was good. And then I got to a place where I was like you. I felt like I was so overwhelmed, like just life was so busy and like my to-do list was so long and I wasn't really focusing on me and what I wanted and what I wanted to share. It was just like, oh, we have this opportunity and this deal and this and this and this. And this. Let's keep going. And at the time, it felt like, yeah, I'm doing what I want to do. In my mind, that's what I'm doing what I want to do. Until I just started to feel like, what is wrong with me? Like, I'm not happy. I'm tired all the time. I'm not really, like, what am I doing for me? Yeah. And we were doing the Mom's View, which I loved, but I, again, didn't feel like I was putting everything into it. I wasn't putting my heart and soul into it like I wanted to. And I guess that was my wake-up call. Like, I just got to a point where I was so low, and I just had to look at myself and be like, what is going on? Like, is this who I want to be? Is this what I want? And am I being real? Mm-hmm. Because obviously there was things going on in my life that people didn't know. Yeah. So was I being real? Yes, to a point. But do I want to share everything? No. Right. And then coming back, my main intention, because I went through this whole journey that nobody ever saw. And, not even only my closest friends saw a tiny bit of it. It's like a soul journey that only I know. And that has been so amazing to me because I can now see that like anything I do put out there, I now know is going to be for me and it's not going to be for anyone else. And so when you're talking about being real versus being real, like I am being more real now than I ever have, but I'm sharing less right now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love that.
Like I feel like I'm definitely, what I'm putting out there is me, and I'm gonna be real with it.
I loved your last. I was watching it in bed and Jackson like, what are you watching? Who is making fun of Colette? I was like, Colette's making fun of Colette. And he was like, what? It was a good video. It was a very good video.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And it was funny and such a good spin. I was cracking up.
Well,
you're a good little actress.
That's one of those things like, well, as we were doing, all the Shade Tards and I was doing my Katie Lett channel, I love acting and I love comedy and I love skits, and I thought I was always too nervous. I'm like, no, they don't want to see that. Oh, that's embarrassing. I'm not going to do that. And now that I'm like trying to just be me and not care what people are going to say about me, then I'm like, I love this. So I might look like a complete dork and I don't even care. And I was editing that video. I was cracking up at myself. I'm like, I'm the biggest dork right now. And I love it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because I think that is such a big thing with YouTube right now. It's almost like you have to fit in this form. You have to be like this certain way. And so you feel like you're being real, but you also have to fit into this bubble.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so are you staying true to the things that you're really passionate about? And that is almost where I feel like I've lost my way a little bit. So I need to focus, what would I fight for? And even Casey was asking me the other day, we were talking about, if he would ever want to vlog again, why I've decided to vlog on my channel, where I want to see my channel. And he was like, what do you want to do on your channel? Like, what do you want? And I was like, well, I want to do everything that I've been doing. And he's like, then why haven't you been? Because I haven't been crafting and I haven't been doing hair tutorials, and those are things that I really love to do. And it's because I just haven't had time. And like you, like I'm putting everything, I'm pushing those things to the side and I'm doing what needs to be done because I want to make videos. I love it. I love connecting with everyone watching, and I love that I get to do that, but I just am not making time for it. And I don't know, it's just so crazy.
It's also hard, like being a mom and working from home is really hard. Like it's very challenging because I don't know about you, but I see the things I need to get done in my home and then to work and then to have a baby right by you. Like it's like time blocking is really essential and it's kind of hard to figure that out. And moving, like when my house is in a disarray and like moving, like I couldn't focus on anything but that. And it's almost like you don't have the energy to put out for your work, which is hard because it is our work, but it's hard. You have to be easy on yourself, especially moving. That's the worst. And you just feel like mentally you know everything that needs to be done. So it's almost like you're mentally working through things when you're supposed to be focused on your work, and it's kind of hard to like give everything to like doing your videos.
Yeah. And it's hard to rest.
Right.
Yeah. Because you're just thinking, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that.
I know. And Layla's been sick, so like sleep has not been happening.
Oh my gosh.
And so I'm like, okay, I just need.
I know. So is Elliot. He's not sleeping, and I'm like,
we should take shifts sometime just so we can just sleep.
I almost thought about painting eyeballs on my eyes today, so I could just like and look like I was aware.
Like
Miranda sings, just painting a face on so I could be like, I'm here.
I'm always asleep. I'm awake. I'm always asleep.
I feel like I don't know. YouTube is so. We didn't vlog at all the whole month of October. I had like a breakdown. I just told Jackson, I was like, I just need a break. I can't do this anymore. And he was like, what do you mean? Like, are you quitting? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, the YouTube that I was brought into 6 years ago is so different than the YouTube now.
Right.
And I think that I've been reading Brene Brown's Braving the Wilderness, which I'm in love with all of her stuff. Love everything she's written. But this book, I don't know what it is. I feel like everybody needs to read it. She talks about braving the wilderness and being your true authentic self and how it's really hard to do that because we live in a day and age now where you can't put yourself out there without somebody like almost dehumanizing you and taking away from who you are because they don't agree with you. It's like people just can't disagree these days and be civil. It's like they have to almost make you the word she keeps using is dehumanizing, like calling you names and making you look bad, or if you voted for Trump then you're this, and if you voted for Hillary Clinton then you're this. Like you have to fit into these categories without just maybe taking in consideration that we might not see eye to eye. And so I don't know, I just think with YouTube it's like I've seen so many, personally we've all gone through things on YouTube, and I've seen so many other YouTubers that I just watch like almost crumble because of the pressure. And it's hard because YouTube is such a blessing, and it's changed my life for the best for so many things, and I would never complain about that. But I don't think like being a viewer, sometimes I feel empathy for YouTubers because I know, but putting yourself out there truly for anybody just to have an opinion, it's not easy to do. I think it is a blessing, but it is really hard to be your true authentic self and to feel good about that and to put that out for the world, and then to read so many negative things about it. And while we're not living to like care what people think, like it is hard to work really hard on a project or tap into this part of your heart that you're willing to share that's maybe, like you said, we wouldn't normally share, and then to have that be rejected. And so I just told Jackson, I'm like, why are we doing this? Like I just need to if I don't feel like we're doing this authentically and being who we are and we're doing it to look a certain way or to fit into that bubble, I don't know if I should be doing it anymore. And so that's why like reading her book has just really opened my eyes about like you're not always going to be accepted, but it's okay to like set boundaries and call people out on their bullshit. And that was like my favorite chapter. And she's like, and I love her because I'm a swear person, and sometimes I'm like, I shouldn't swear on YouTube. But she's like, no, she's like, any story of passion, she's like, I don't know anybody who comes through stories of passion that isn't faithful or have like some connection with a higher belief, or who doesn't swear. She's like, because if you're like really going through something, it is hard. And she's like, and that shit is not easy. And I was like, amen, amen. I love her. But I don't know, I just reading her book has really like everything you were saying kind of touched on what she was saying.
Well, I guess I need to read that book then.
I don't know, the way she talks about things just really makes you want to love everybody and hold hands with a stranger and brave the wilderness and be vulnerable, but it's not easy. And so just when you talked about these things today, I'm like, I think we're kind of living in a world where reality isn't real anymore because it's almost hard to be real.
Right.
Because you get torn apart about it, you know?
Well, and I just think like social media has changed everything so much, I think.
Yeah.
Because I think people are mean not only on YouTube and we have to read the mean comments. People are just mean in general. Yeah. Like they just feel like they can say mean things and that's okay. It's just not.
Because it's like we're in this disconnected world. She was talking about how it's as unhealthy for you to not have like conversations and one-on-one like what we're doing right now,
Right.
as it is to smoke a pack of cigarettes a day. She's like, it's people disconnecting and being on social media and not having this real human interaction is as unhealthy for you as it would be to smoke a pack of cigarettes a day.
Yeah.
And I was like, that seems really dramatic. And I
It's
was
kind of true though when you think about
like
it.
we put ourselves behind so many walls and screens, and I don't feel like it's our true authentic selves, because how many people in the comments or the mean things that we say or posting pictures of whatever, would we really do that if it wasn't a picture, if it was like a real live thing? Like I had to say that mean comment to you, or I had to post sexy in front of you if I was like in my bikini being like, Colette.
Or would we just sit and have conversations like
You
this?
know, like, yeah, and like just like all the lighting and the filters, it's like almost like we're just burying ourselves in this
Yeah.
unauthentic world.
Yeah.
It's so true.
I just like straddled you.
I loved it.
Here, I'll like straddle you too, Colette, so you're not
Oh,
left
thank
out.
you. I felt so loved out.
I
filter
also
on
think
that.
that it's easy to almost start believing the comments. Like I'll
Yeah.
read things even about like my marriage. Something that I get all the time is that I'm a doormat.
Sorry, my hip was cramping. I didn't properly stretch out.
Too much straddling on the mom's view.
Don't go back to the doormat.
Yeah,
I did
sorry.
not mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry, but my hip was cramping
That's
so
okay.
bad.
Stretch it out.
I'm
That's really
old.
important.
Oh my gosh. Okay, good.
I love you so much.
Hip cramps are gone.
Anyways, I'll read in the comments and people will say, you're such a doormat. Like Casey walks all over you. You let him go hunting all the time. He's always gone. And then sometimes I'll be like, am I a doormat? Am I just like letting him walk all over me, when I know the truth is we discuss everything. We discuss every hunt he goes on. We discuss everything. He hears my point of view. I hear his. And at the end of the day, I support him and his dream. And this is his dream and he's living it and I support him. But these comments that I read get in my head and then
Yeah.
we fight about that because am I a doormat? I'm not going to be a doormat and I'm not going to stand for that. And then we fight when it's just, and he's so confused because he's like, I thought we talked about this. Like,
Like, are we
and
okay?
Where's this coming
and I just
from?
think like that is so crazy too. Like,
Yeah.
what in the heck?
Yeah.
What world do we live in? I don't know.
It's so true. It's hard to like, especially, you know, with my now idea of everything I put out there is just for me. That first video that I put up and reading the comments was like, I had to meditate on what I already intended, you know, because it was hard not to feel like you have to like justify yourself or like prove to them. And it's just like, you know what? Let go of what they think.
Right.
If I'm going to make the decision to put myself out there, I have to know that's going to come back on me, and I have to be able to release that. You know, like there is a certain amount of I don't know the word I want to use, like responsibility, I guess. Like, you know, if I'm going to put myself out there, if I'm doing it to get any type of affirmation or acceptance from people, then I'm not going to get it.
Right.
Because they're not going to give it to me. And but it's so hard. It's so hard to like put it out there and be so excited about it and then read these comments that you're like, okay, take a step back. It's just about me. It's not about them, or it's not about me. It's about them. You know, like separate yourself from the negativity is really hard to do.
And I think it's hard because I love the why did that word just leave my head? Oh, the connection. Hello. I love the connection that I feel with our viewers. Like, I love going and commenting in the comments, and like I need that connection in my life because I am more of a homebody. So I love that. And so then when I read comments, it does really hurt, and then it does really stick with me. So then I don't know, like, how do you stay so connected with the people watching? Because when I film a video, when we film these videos, we don't see a camera. I mean, we see everyone watching and the connections that we're making. So
Do you feel like we've been told? I don't know. I kind of disagree with some of this, so I think this is good. This is our first disagreement on the moms here. I do feel like there's these cliche things that we've been told with YouTube, like don't feed the trolls, like you can't read into what they say, and we've been told these certain things that we're supposed to believe. But if you really think about the world we're living in, this world of creativity, what we're putting out there is kind of for critics, you know, essentially that's what, you know, viewers are. They give us feedback, good or bad, on our videos. And I was like really breaking it down. I'm like, why do comments really bother me? Like, why does it get to me? And I was thinking, well, I mean, it makes sense. Like, it's like turning into a project to your boss, or you take time to do a video, like a beauty video, and you feel really good about it. And then when it doesn't get accepted, obviously if there's like one bad comment, that's one thing. But when you read a certain amount of negative things, it's hard not to take that into consideration and kind of like, okay, well, what can can I do better to make the next video better? You know what I'm saying? And there's mindless comments that you read that you're like, oh, obviously, like, whatever, you know, that's just somebody being somebody. But sometimes I feel like in the YouTube world, it's okay to have feelings, and viewers forget that. They think that we hear these cliche, do you know what I'm saying? We hear these cliche things that we're supposed to, like, as YouTubers, like, accept on, and I'm like, I'm just not that person. Like, I will always care. I will always have my heart in whatever I'm doing 100%. And when I read hurtful comments, it will always bug me.
Right.
You know, and there's some comments I read that I'm like, oh, that's just stupid. But there's some comments that I read that I'm like, I don't understand, like, how people can. And the more you dive into it, the more you can talk yourself, like, out of it. Like, oh, these people are just coming from a hurtful place. But I don't think sometimes as viewers, people realize it is hard. It's really hard to be vulnerable and feel good about yourself and put yourself out there just to be, like, you know, cut at the bit all the time. Because I think the world of YouTube for me has made me realize everything I say before I say it. Like, is that going to offend somebody? Is that racist? Do I look this way? Do I look like I'm disagreeing? Do I look this way? Like, it almost makes you second guess who you are because you read so much feedback that it's helped me grow 100%. Like, I'm like, oh, I didn't even realize that is not a healthy thing and I shouldn't say that. Like I said, my period was as bad as Hurricane Katrina and I was just being, like, dramatic, and I didn't even realize, I'm like, oh, people who went through hurricanes, like, that could be offensive to them. But then I'm like, at the end of the day, were my intentions to try to hurt people, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the world of YouTube is hard because it's like, I don't know, this bubble and these things that we're supposed to do and to say, and sometimes I'm like, maybe I should just never have started because I don't know if I was cut out for it, you know?
I guess that's why I get angry now, because I'm like, I feel like people are expecting me to tell them certain things or, like, open up about certain things, and they do attack me for what they think that I'm doing in my life. And for me, like, yeah, it affects me, it bothers me, but am I going to change what I'm doing because of that?
Right.
Heck no. Like, I don't give a what you guys think. Insert words, excerpt words. You know, like, I don't care. And it almost makes me feel like, you know, I'm putting this out there and it is 100% for me because I want to be vulnerable and because I know there are people out there that are going through the same crap that I'm going through that I can help.
Yeah.
You know? And so when I read the negative comments, it does bother me. Like, 100%, yes, it bothers me. But if I internalize it and let it get me and change what I would do, that's when it's going to be a problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's when you lose your passion.
Yeah.
And that's when you forget who you are. And that's why I think, I mean, I don't think that I let them, like, do that. But at the end of the day, like, yesterday when my sister texted this to me, I was like, who am I? Like, I feel like I've lost who I am along the way.
I mean, I don't think you have. You definitely have a lot to stand for, and
Maybe I'm just really tired.
But I know you're saying
what
it's
you're
almost
feeling,
like you're afraid because it's almost reading so much feedback, good and bad. Sometimes, like, people point out things about yourself you didn't realize, and I think that sometimes it's easy to lose yourself in this world of constant, like, feedback and comments because you do things that are true to you, but when they're perceived as bad or good, then it makes you question what your boundaries and what you're really authentic about.
Right.
So then it's like, do I feel that way about that thing? And it almost makes you just go over in your head.
Yeah.
And so it's easy to, like, accept things that maybe you wouldn't have accepted or be something that you wouldn't have. The hardest thing for me is people don't realize, like, you don't have to do what we're doing or what we're okay with or what we agree with, but it doesn't have to take away from you. You know, like, what you've gone through, what I've gone through, they don't have to be sized up to each other's journeys.
Right.
Like, somebody said something in the comments about, well, Carly just doesn't get it. She's just married and in this la la land and has this baby and that's all she wants to talk about. And
Did
it's
it just
like,
make you laugh?
I was like, holy shit, do you even know what I went through when I was 20 years old? Like, people just don't realize that every journey is so individual and we grow at different rates and we become different human beings every single day through every experience we've been through. And what your strengths and passions are will not be mine and vice versa. And they don't need to be compared to one another.
Right.
And what we do and what we decide and who we are doesn't need to take away from who you are or what you believe in or what you would do. And giving your feedback helps us, but it doesn't need to take away. Don't you feel like you read that sometimes in the comments? It's like, well, you guys should be more like this. It's like, no, you should be more like that. If that's how you feel, that's great. But we don't have to be that way.
Oh, but you know, I was thinking about what you were saying, and I feel like it is hard, like, where you're at, where you just feel like, oh no, what am I doing? But I think that you know your intentions, like, and you can check your intentions, and if your videos aren't where you wish they were, then that's okay, because that's where you're at right now. You know, you have a new baby and you're moving and you are tired, and you probably just need to take like a whole week and be like, screw everything, I'm sleeping, take the baby, Dr. Pepper, and just do it for yourself. And I think that's okay.
And I think that it really hit me after we filmed the Moms View last time. I went home and I was like, I don't feel like my passion is where your passion is. Right, like both of you. And I went home and I told Casey, like, I don't know why. I don't know why I have this weird feeling. We talked about this episode where it was like, I felt like I was in this great place and I like loved who I was and I was so happy. And then I went home and I was just like, I don't feel like I have the same passion that the girls have. So, and I think that that's okay, because I feel like with this whole journey of the Mom's View, we've all kind of like built each other up. When one was low, we picked each other up, and it seems like, you know, it's good. So I know we're a lot alike, and I know that like it might seem like we have a lot of the same like beliefs and feelings about things, but I'm grateful for that. Like, I'm grateful that
But at the end of the day, we're not those type of people that even if you and I didn't agree, I'm not going to call you out. I can relate to what you're saying without it being something that I have to be okay with. Yeah, like at the end of the day, like, we all believe in the same things, but we all act out on those differently. And those are the parts that people don't see, you know?
I mean, we just have to honor each other's journeys. And that's how I feel like I do get angry at comments and things sometimes, but I think ultimately if I can switch it and change it to love, I mean, I know I talked about this in my last video, it's like I gotta honor their journey. Like, they're somewhere in their life where they feel like posting that comment was something they needed to do, then whatever. Like, I'm gonna respect where you're at, and I respect where I'm at. And we don't need to like confront each other about it all the time.
Jerry Springer is
and
just
we don't need to Jerry Springer up in here.
It'd be fun.
It might be
but
I do, like, after all of this and like thinking about it, I am committing myself to like bringing the things that I am passionate about and talking about the things that I am passionate about and not filtering myself. Like, I want you guys to know who we are.
Yeah.
And I personally, and I think that you guys are doing it already, but I want to give more of that. Just like true who I am, what I believe, and hopefully it goes okay.
And I think you do that so well. Like, I really it's try, hard to hear what you're hearing or we're saying, because I'm like, but I think you are passionate. Like, I see that in you, but I know how that feels.
Yeah.
I know where you're at.
I'm committing. Gonna give it all. I'm gonna give everything I have.
Tattoos.
No.
Yes, right here.
I already have tattoos on my face, my eyebrows.
I love you.
So, anyways, I am so grateful for you guys. Thank you for listening, and thank you for being real. And I hope that you guys are all having a good day. And if you have anything to add, please do so in the comments. We love hearing from you guys. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.